This amazing story happened on January 14, 2005. The Huygens space probe successfully entered the atmosphere of Titan, Saturn's largest moon, and landed on its surface in a region called Xanadu. The descent by parachute through Titan's atmosphere took Huygens 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 50 seconds. The spacecraft collided with Titan's surface at a speed of 16 kilometers per hour, and the instruments experienced short-term overloads 15 times greater than the acceleration of gravity on Earth. This jolt disabled one of the sensors, but a few minutes later, it resumed functioning. The probe's performance exceeded the most optimistic expectations. Cassini received signals from Huygens during the descent for 147 minutes and 13 seconds, and from the surface for another 72 minutes and 13 seconds before the orbiter disappeared over the horizon. After that, the probe's signals were received for some time by a radio telescope in Australia, although they turned out to be too weak to be used as a channel for transmitting information. Huygens itself did not send information directly to Earth. Its task was to transmit data to Cassini, which then transmitted it to Earth when the probe that landed on Titan remained in a zone invisible to signal transmission. In total, more than 500 megabytes of information were transmitted, including about 350 images. In total, it was planned to transmit 700 photographs to Earth, but due to a failure in the computer program, presumably due to errors in its development, half of the images transmitted by Huygens were lost. The landing site of the device on March 14, 2007, was decided to be named in honor of Hubert Curien, one of the founders of the European Space Agency. Huygens had 5 main missions: determine the physical characteristics of Titan's atmosphere, density, pressure, temperature, depending on the altitude; measure the percentage ratio of atmospheric components; study chemical, and, in particular, photochemical processes in the atmosphere, especially with respect to organic molecules, as well as the formation and composition of aerosols; characterize the meteorology of Titan, in particular the physics of clouds, lightning discharges, and general circulation; study the physical state, topography, and composition of Titan's surface. During its descent, Huygens collected atmospheric samples. The wind speed was approximately 26 kilometers per hour. Using an external microphone, it was possible to record the sound of this wind. According to an interpretation of the Huygens probe data made by Tetsuo Tokano of the University of Cologne, the upper part of the clouds consists of methane ice and the lower part of liquid methane and nitrogen. The images taken during the descent showed a complex relief with traces of liquid action, riverbeds, and a sharp contrast between light and dark areas. But the dark area where Huygens landed turned out to be solid. The images taken from the surface show rounded stones up to 15 cm in size, bearing traces of liquid action. The soil properties were studied using a penetrometer. Initially, the soil was interpreted as a thin crust of relatively uniform consistency on a softer base. Later, the penetrometer data were revised. It is now believed that during landing, it hit a pebble, after which it sank into the soil, the general consistency of which corresponds to the consistency of wet sand or dense snow. The probe sank into the soil to a depth of 15 centimeters. At the same time, methane was released from the soil. Its emissions were recorded by the probe's instruments. One of the first surprises was the existence of a second, lower layer of the ionosphere on Titan, lying between 40 and 140 kilometers. The maximum electrical conductivity is at an altitude of 70 kilometers. The yellow methane haze that makes it so difficult to observe the surface of Titan is present in the atmosphere at all altitudes, although it was initially expected that below 60 kilometers, the atmosphere would be almost transparent. A complete surprise for scientists was that at an altitude of about 80 kilometers, there is almost dead calm in the atmosphere of Titan. Neither the winds blowing below 60 kilometers nor the turbulent movements observed twice as high penetrate here. The reasons for such a strange fading of movements have not yet been explained. The basis of Titan's atmosphere, like on Earth, is nitrogen. The second most important gas, methane, occupies a place somewhat similar to water vapor in the Earth's atmosphere. and methane clouds can even form in the lower layers of the atmosphere. Titan is much colder than Earth, so there is no liquid water on its surface. However, there are lakes of liquid methane and ethane, as well as rivers and entire seas of them, and these gases can also fall as precipitation, like rain from water on Earth. Titan also likely contains a subsurface liquid ocean of ammonia or water. Some models suggest that Titan could support the existence of inverted semi-permeable membranes based on acrylonitrile in a liquid non-polar methane-ethane mixture on its surface. However, under conditions in which the methane-ethane mixture exists in a liquid state, all molecules larger and more polar than acrylonitrile inevitably crystallize due to the much greater strength of the bonds between polar molecules. The fractionation of hydrocarbons and the alcohol precipitation of nucleic acids are based on this principle. At the same time, complex chemical processes of selective exchange and accumulation of a number of substances are observed in this environment, which is the subject of extensive discussions in the planetary science community, including NASA. Titan's atmosphere is dense, chemically active, and rich in organic compounds. These facts have prompted scientists to additional hypotheses about the presence of life or prerequisites for life, especially in the upper layers of the atmosphere. Its atmosphere also contains hydrogen, and methane can combine with some of the organic compounds, such as acetylene, to produce energy and enable life to develop. In June 2010, scientists, based on the analysis of data from the Cassini-Huygens mission, reported anomalies in the atmosphere of Titan near its surface. Based on this, they put forward a hypothesis about the breathing of primitive biological organisms. According to this hypothesis, organisms could absorb hydrogen gas and feed on acetylene molecules, while methane would be formed during their life processes. As a result, Titan would experience a shortage of acetylene and a decrease in the hydrogen content near the surface. However, there is no direct evidence of life on Titan yet. Life on Titan, Saturn's largest moon, currently remains an open question and a topic for scientific debate and research. This is where this amazing story ends. Like and subscribe to the channel, and also write comments. I will be very interested to read. Bye.